All right, welcome back. It is Friday, and listen, every once in a while, we need a kick in the pants. We need to be motivated. We need to be reminded of some basic things that are true about us. And today, I have the unfortunate job of telling you that your content is not working, or it's not being as successful as it could be because you are being a little bit lazy about it. I hate to be the one to tell you this. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I want to show you how just a little bit more effort and a little bit more thought can make your content much more successful. Let's get into it. All right, so like I said, I have the unfortunate job of telling you why your laziness is making you fail. Not really, but really what I want to talk about today is the culmination of several things. We had Kenneth Burke on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about how their startup, which is TextRequest, approaches content like a product. And that got me thinking about what are all the implications of that. I'll talk about his method in just a second, but on top of that, I heard a podcast recently by a guy named Dave Gerhardt, who is a really experienced CEO, really prolific creator himself. And he talked about this similar idea, treating content like a product. And he was talking about it specifically to launches. And so I started to connect dots and think, okay, what is happening? Why is it that this continues to come up a little bit? And how can we apply it to our content and obviously to your content as our audience? So first of all, I think let's just lay out a couple of things. Number one, it's easy to just work really hard and produce a bunch of content. I'm talking mainly to myself here, right? Look at what I'm doing. I'm creating daily episodes for a core audience, and I really appreciate all of you who are here. But, I'm batch creating these. I'm creating a ton of content. We're doing a high volume between this and the interviews and the videos and the tweets and the LinkedIn posts and the blogs, the transcripts. There's a ton of volume, a ton of ways for our audience to connect with us. But effort, a lot of times, can be a mask for not thinking through as fully any area of life, but specifically content, because you can just post it, be done with it, and move on to the next act of creation. And sometimes it's easy to forget and to really strategize about how you're going to get the most connection out of that content and how you're going to serve your audience most through that content. So I want to talk about two things. First of all is treating your content like a product launch. Again, we're going to explore this idea more fully later in a different episode, but just to touch on it here. If you are taking the time to make a piece of content, and again, talking to myself here because I'm doing it every day, that content should be valuable enough that you have some kind of launch and promotion strategy behind it. Okay, now when you think about a product launch, if you think about this either physical or digital, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of writing, there's a lot of scheduling, and there's a lot of promotion that happens during a product launch. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of how you do each step of that, although, like I said, I will at some point. But just let that be a thought in the back of your brain. Is this content something I am willing to put in the effort to do all of that for? If not, is it worth it? Is this a worthy piece of content for me to be creating and putting in front of my audience? Or do I need to scale back the volume and potentially work on increasing the quality so it is worth putting that effort behind? That would be the first consideration. The second is, how are you analyzing, measuring, and justifying or making decisions on what future content will be? And this goes back to Kenneth's conversation, right? If you are just simply producing content at scale, promoting it, distributing it, and not making revisions or decisions based on what is working versus what is not, you're just losing so much momentum that you could be enjoying by thinking about this a little more strategically. Kenneth talked about the test and learn method, and that's how they build their product. They go out, they build a feature, they put it in front of an audience, and they say, do you like this? What do you not like about it? Let's revise it. Let's put it back through the cycle and do that again. That's the same thing that he does with content. It's the same thing that we do with content. We've talked about this a million times, but that's the entire thesis behind building one pillar asset that you can pull into a bunch of different pieces and then distribute among a wide variety of people so you can see which, that message, where does it pop? What type of content is it most effective being delivered as? Is it at best as an Instagram story? Is it best as a YouTube video? Is it best as a podcast? Is it best as a written piece of content? And if you're over time not realizing, oh, look, every time I talk about how to create content and I'm doing it on a Thursday, it does best as a blog post. If you're not looking at that and you're not analyzing what's working, then like I said, you're just leaving wins on the table. And so if I were you, I would think through and find a way to go back. And this is why your content calendar is so important, and review at least monthly, probably more frequently. Okay, what did we do this month? Where did all of the content go? And where did we see the most attention for that content? And listen, especially starting off, it might not be thousands of views. It might be a couple of hundreds of views over here. It might be 10 views more, on a certain platform. But it's consistently 10 views more. Note that, acknowledge that, and use that information the next time you come back to the creation table so that your content is more valuable, more impactful, and like we said earlier, is worthy of being promoted and distributed like a product would be. Okay, so listen, I know this is a kick in the butt. It puts more work on you as the creator, but if you take this effort and you take this note and you apply it, it's going to make your content a whole lot better. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.